Hi everyone, Grayson here, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, I'm glad you're here. So today's project is to get the last remaining summer containers planted up. And today I'm going to be starting with one of my last shade containers. You know, I have a lot of shade now that most of my trees have matured down here on this patio. So I have a whole collection of beautiful plants here that I'm going to be planting up for you that love the shade. I'm going to be using a lot of bold texture in this container today. I'm going to be starting with this beautiful variegated hosta. Now the bold texture of this is unmatched. This is a proven winner's hosta. This is from the Shadowland series. This is called Miss America, and this was a hosta of the year. This is going to grow about 1 foot to 1.5 feet tall and wide. I just love this hosta. Next, I have this holly fern, this big bold texture. The leaves look like holly leaves, hence the name holly fern. This is going to grow anywhere from 18 to 30 inches tall and wide. I'm also going to be working with this Southern Living Carax. This is called Amarillo. I love the grassy texture. I love that lemony yellow-green color, and I think it's going to pair well with the rest. Also, you know I have to use coleus in the shade. I love this coleus. It is beautiful. It always reminds me of stained glass. I have this beautiful green and almost like a burgundy purple underside of the leaf. And then for my filler, I'll be using this variegated ivy. I love ivy in containers because you can control it. I would never put ivy in the ground. It would take over the world. And I love the variegation of this ivy because it brings such a nice light element to the shade. So first things first, I'm going to start out with my Espoma Bio Starter Fertilizer. This just helps with transplants and new root development. So I always go in and sprinkle just a little bit of this in. I'm going to start with this Miss America hosta. Isn't that something? So I'm just going to start off by placing this hosta in the back, because this is such a bold piece. This is where I want to start it. Next, we're going to go in with our holly fern. Now again, this is going to grow anywhere from 18 to 30 inches tall and wide, but with it being in a container, the container will always keep the growth in check. It's not going to get nearly as big here in this container as it would out in the landscape. So once I pull these out and plant these in the landscape, boy, they're just going to take off. So we're going to go right in here beside. You know, I love these holly ferns. I love any kind of fern. You know, I had some macho ferns one time that my mom turned me on to, and boy, those things grow like crazy. Let me know in the comment section if you've ever had a macho fern. Next up, let's go ahead and get our strappy grass in. Again, this is from Southern Living Collection, and this is the Amarillo grass. This is a Carax. I'm just gonna knock off a lot of the soil. We're gonna pop this right here. You know, I love designing containers because you can put so many different things together, so many colors, so many textures. Perennials, annuals can go together. You can put evergreens in containers. You can put boxwoods in containers. You can put Japanese maples in containers. You can plant hydrangeas in containers. I have a couple of macrophylla hydrangeas in containers that are gigantic up on the deck. I've had them down here on this lower patio before, and they've done wonderful. So I love to move the containers all around. Okay, next, let's bring in a little bit of coleus. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and add my spiller, which is my variegated ivy. I'm going to separate some of this. And there you are. That is one of our shady containers all done. I think it turned out beautiful, and I can't wait until this starts filling in. I love the big, bold texture of the Smith's America hosta, the holly fern, and the carax. Once these get watered in and fill in, they're gonna be beautiful. And I'll be keeping you updated on these, so let's go ahead and get started on the second one. Okay, and that's shade container number 2. Let's go ahead and start on the next ones. Next, I'm going to be planting up my wrought iron wall hanging basket by the front entrance. So this wall hanging basket gets morning sun, and then it's in full shade for the rest of the afternoon and day. So first up, I thought, well, I'm going to be using coleus again. You know, this is one of my favorite shade-loving plants. This is in a warm tone. This is more of a salmon color. I thought this would be beautiful in the shade. So with this coleus, I'm going to be pairing it with this beautiful Proven Winners oxalis. Now this is called Charmed Wine, and this is going to grow anywhere from 6 to 16 inches tall. Think of shamrock. It's a burgundy shamrock. They kind of close up in the evening, but they open up full during the day. So I thought that would look really nice and pair real well with that salmon color. So next, I'm going to just pop in some white begonias. You can never go wrong with these in the shade. I thought that would just pair well and bring a nice pop of lightness into the shade. And of course, my spiller is going to be Creepin' Jenny. This works in the sun as well as the shade. So let's go ahead and get started. Next, we're going to switch things up a bit by doing a couple of hanging baskets. Now these baskets are going to be positioned up on the deck on either side of my swing. Now the area that they're going to be placed is partial sun pretty much all day. They get a little bit of morning sun and then filtered sun and then afternoon shade. So the first thing that we're going to do is start with this cocoa lined basket. I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these clips just to make it easier to plant. There we go. I'm going to be using my Miracle Grow potting mix. That should be good. Now I have a beautiful mix of plants that I'm going to be using. All of these plants do well in filtered sunlight, so I'm looking forward to how this basket is going to turn out. Now first off, for my thriller, I'm going to be using a spike. I've used these for years. It is a simple centerpiece that makes a big impact. This goes right in the middle. These will be seen from all sides. Next, I'm going to be using coleus. They have maroon veining in the leaves, and then they have a maroon underside. I'm also going to be adding this Proven Winners oxalis, and this is called Charmed Wine. So you can see how the Charmed Wine oxalis pairs beautifully with the coleus. And then we're going to follow it up with our spiller, which will be our Creepin' Jenny. Let's go ahead and get to planting. I'm going to add a little bit of my Espoma, my Biotone starter fertilizer. This just helps with root development and transplants, okay? So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in. Also, I'm going to be using my Proven Winners Premium Continuous Release Plant Food. Now, for those who don't know, this is heat activated. So this will kick in when the temperatures rise, which is pretty much now. So we'll start right in the center with our spike. I have used these for years and years and years. You just cannot go wrong with these. And if I use them, I typically always start with them right in the middle. Hope you all are doing well. You know, thanks so much for all of your comments and your likes and for subscribing to my channel. You know, y'all are the best. Y'all have really made my day with that. And I sincerely appreciate that. So next up, we're going to go through and put our coleus. And I'm just going to add 3. And then I'm going to be doing 2 of these. So in the second one, I'll show you a little bit more close up. Next up is our oxalis. It's like a burgundy shamrock with a little dainty white flower. These just go right in between. You know, when I saw these oxalis, I knew that they would be a perfect match for these coleus. And then finally, we're going to place our Creepin' Jenny just in thirds also. I'm going to go ahead and divide a couple of these because they're rather large. And they're very easy to divide. Now, Creepin' Jenny is a perennial in my area. So we're going to place these right in between all of them. And there you are. There's your first of 2 hanging baskets. And let's get started with hanging basket number 2. That's hanging basket number 2. Now let me show you where I'm going to place these. So I think the hanging baskets turned out beautiful, and the next containers that I'm going to be doing for you are my sun lovers. Now these sun loving containers are going to be placed down on the side paver patio. I have a really fun mix of color. I have these beautiful canna lilies, and these are called scarlet bronze. These reach about 4 feet tall. We have this beautiful red bloom with these dark variegated leaves. Now I love canna lilies in containers because again, I can control them in a container. I've had them in the landscape before and they will get away from you. So those are gonna be awesome. I have this beautiful purple vinca that I can't wait to pair up in this container. These love the sun, and these will get anywhere from 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. This is an incredible performer in the sun. Next up, I have these beautiful clear yellow petunias. These will grow anywhere from 1 foot to 1.5 feet to 2 feet tall and wide. Next up, I have these beautiful echinacea or cone flowers. These are called powwow wildberry, and these will grow about 2 feet tall. Next, I'm going to be using my biotone starter fertilizer. Now this product is from Espoma, and this just helps with new plants or transplants. So let's go ahead and get a little bit scattered in. So next up, I'm going to shake in a little bit of my Proven Winners Premium Continuous Release Plant Food. Now for those who don't know, this is heat activated. So this will kick in when the temperatures are nice and warm like they are now, and this will continuously feed our plants. So this is really important as well. So we're just going to work this all into the soil. Now I'm going to be doing 2 of these containers, so I'll show you more close up on the second one. So for placement, these are going to be placed up against a white vinyl fencing. So I'm going to start with my largest plant in the back, and that is going to be this powwow scarlet canna lily. I have some of these in another container on the side patio in the sun, and they have reached 5-6 feet tall. So these are a little root bound. As you can see, they've been in these containers for a while. So I'm just going to tease these roots just a little bit, and they are going to thank me for this. Now canna lilies are perennials in my area, and honestly I just leave these in these containers and they come back year after year, because if I put cannas in the ground here, they just always seem to want to get away from me. So I'm going to put this one all the way in the back. And that red bloom is just amazing. So you just want to make sure that you have soil up against your container wall. Next, we're going to come in with our vinca. This is a beautiful, beautiful purple vinca. Now there's 4 vinca in this container, and I'm just going to plant the whole thing. You can always break a little of this dirt off. You're not going to hurt them. Now just butt these right against the cannas. And you can have your root balls touching in your pot, so you just want to make sure that you have soil in between them and all the way around them, especially by the container wall. You just don't want any air pockets. Up next is our echinacea. Now again, this is called powwow wildberry. That is a beautiful echinacea. You know, they used to only come in purple and white, and now they come an array of colors, and I thought that this would look beautiful in this mix. So again, let's just pop off a little bit of the soil, tease these roots. They are a little bit root bound. And last but not least, we're going to add our sunny bright yellow petunia to finish these off. These are gorgeous. And again, very root bound. So these are gonna thank me for rescuing them out of their pots. What a fun container this is gonna be. You know, this is such a bright, cheerful container. I love shade containers, but there's something about those sunny containers and all the bright, vivid colors. So much fun. And that's it for our first sun-loving container. Let's go ahead and get started on our second one. And that's going to bring our project to its conclusion. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that you were inspired in some way to get out in your garden and create some beautiful containers. And if so, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it helps me to continue to grow my channel and bring more content like this to you. And as always, thank you for watching Gardening with Grayson. See you next time.